नमस्ते नरसिंहाय नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रहलाद लाद दायिने हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षः शीलाटङ्कानखालये इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा बहिर्नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव करकमलवरे दलिता हिरण्यकशिपूर्तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे नरसिंहदेव जय 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 नरसिंहदेव प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर श्री राधे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा हरि बोल। प्रहलाद महाराज की, नरसिम्हदेव भगवान की, शीला प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की।
हरे कृष्णा, हरे कृष्णा, कृष्णा कृष्णा, हरे हरे, हरे राम, राम राम, हरे हरे. On behalf of ISKCON founder Acharya A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, I would like to welcome all of you to ISKCON Naperville. It will be very nice if everybody can come a little bit closer and the ladies a little bit to the front instead of over there. It is kind of hard to turn my neck and look over there. That will be great. Thank you. This doesn't जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी 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 जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदनन्दना जय ब्रज जनरञ्जना जय यशोदनन्दना जय ब्रज जनरञ्जना जय यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे Hare. Jaya Radha Shyama Sundar, Radha Shyama Sundar, Radha Shyama Sundar Radhe. Jaya Radha Shyama Sundar, Radha Shyama Sundar, Radha Shyama Sundar Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Shri Shri Radha Shyama Sundar ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Get a real thing. Why can't we have a real mic stand? It doesn't make it sense. We're struggling with this all the time. Waiting.
Just pray to Krishna that this stays here. I guess I don't even need a mic. Why should I have a mic? Om Jnanatimidandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, thank you all for coming. I was asked to talk on the topic of controlling the controller. That may seem to be like, who are we controlling? Like, how can we control Krishna? That doesn't sit very well with even just to think about it. But this dilemma is not just for us. In the 12th century, a poet by name Jayadeva Goswami, he had the same problem. When, of course, who are we compared to Jayadeva Goswami, right? He was such an exalted devotee who lived in 12th century, great poet. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to read the compositions of Jayadeva Goswami, Chandidasa, Vidyapati. These were all great personalities who lived long time ago. So even such a great poet, when he was writing his Gita Govinda, he had this great dilemma. You know, how can I put Krishna subservient to Srimati Radharani? That question was there. So it is not surprising, actually, even after reading, I mean, these days almost everybody is an expert in all the theoretical knowledge on spiritual subject matters, and especially now the AI is here, and so what problem is there? Everything is there on the internet, right? But the interesting thing is, even after reading a lot of, or hearing a lot of classes and reading, you still, this topic, controlling the controller, is like, I was very hesitant about it because there are all kinds of love of Krishna. This is like the ultimate state of love, this controlling, Krishna being controlled by the process of bhakti. But I was very hesitant, and I was thinking that I will more focus on other type of love and just contrast it with what this is. But that's not how the thought process developed as I was preparing for this class. So, and also Amrita Kelly had asked me to speak about devotees who exemplified these qualities, and that also turned out to be a little different this time. Today I will be telling two different stories. One is from 12th century and another one about 500 years ago, real life examples. And of course our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, he is a great example of Krishna's extraordinary mercy by which he established so many institutions, bhakti training institutions all over the world. And yesterday was Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day, right? And so we have to be eternally grateful to Srila Prabhupada for bringing this into our life. But I thought I will give some other two different stories so that it will give us a different perspective. Like we can see up to our present time, Srila Prabhupada is an example in our life. But we can also look back and see, about the lives of these amazing devotees. These are real life examples, and so this is not something we are concocting or imagining that Krishna becomes subservient to the love of his devotee. So I thought of presenting this topic from, I'm sure most of you have heard about Jiva Goswami, one of the Goswamis who are the followers of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for those of you who are new here. By the way, I forgot to ask if there is anyone here for the first time. Oh, welcome to ISKCON Naperville. Thank you all for coming. And before you go, please visit the book table. We have a small gift for you. Yeah, so for those of you who are new and others who do not know, Jiva Goswami was one of the 6 Goswamis who were these Goswamis were very close followers of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he wrote a series of books called Sandarbhas, and one of those Sandarbhas is known as Preeti Sandarbha. And I thought I will present this topic from Jiva Goswami's Preeti Sandarbha point of view. So there it is clearly stated from many quotes that bhakti really subjugates Krishna. That's kind of shocking to hear. Bhakti subjugates Krishna. So it's not just any form of bhakti, because all of us can claim to have some form of bhakti. Who does not have bhakti? Because we are all here coming to take darshan of Krishna, which means there is some form of love for Krishna is there. Otherwise, we don't need to be coming here. We can go somewhere else. So, but it is not any type of love. This particular form of bhakti, known as preeti. And preeti is translated as spiritual love. And so that spiritual love, which is very pleasing to Krishna, that can subjugate Krishna. And so there are different type of love. I was telling in the beginning, I was thinking more in terms of other type of love and how Krishna reciprocates. So there are different laws of reciprocation in Krishna's dictionary, So there are different ways in which we love Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante, tamstatiksha bhajamyaham mama vartamanu vartande manushya partha sarvasaha. According to how you approach me, that's how he reciprocates. So there are different ways of reciprocation. So, and also we are all quite familiar with the verse 9 processes of devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. These are different types, different processes of devotional service. And among all of that, the most exalted spiritual activity is known as bhakti. Now, bhakti, usually we may think it is devotion, but Srila Prabhupada purposefully has translated it as devotional service. We all know that, those of us who read. And so Preeti, bhakti is devotional service, and Preeti is pure spiritual love. Very simple. We simplify the most complicated subject matter. Actually, there was a lot of complicated explanations, and I completely avoided. I like to simplify things for myself. So, in Bhagavad Gita, there is this Chatur Shloki Bhagavad Gita. I'm sure, how many of you heard about Chatur Shloki Bhagavad Gita? Okay, quite a few of you. Out of the 4 Chatur Shloki, 4 key verses, there is this third verse in which Krishna uses the term Preeti. And that verse is Bhajatam Preeti Purvakam. Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter, 10th verse. Krishna says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite. So priti purvakam, one who does bhajana kriya with priti. So how does this whole verse translate? It says, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, with the capital letter love, and to such a person I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. So this is Krishna's statement. So in that verse in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada's word for word meaning says, Preeti Purvagam means in loving ecstasy. In loving ecstasy. What is that, loving ecstasy? That is what today's 2 stories are going to talk about, what that loving ecstasy is. It's not, loving is not like just I love you. That's not loving ecstasy. Loving ecstasy is described like if a cup is full and that cup shakes a little bit, it overflows. So that is the kind of love exhibited by Mother Yashoda to Krishna. Her heart overflows, her body responds to when Krishna needs milk, milk flows from her breast. That is Yashoda's love for Krishna. Similarly, there are devotees whose love literally overflows. That's the 2 examples I was going to talk about. So among all, we all have different type of sentiments, and spiritual love is considered as the highest sentiment. So it is understood that if you have this kind of a love, which is overflowing from your heart, it can end all type of sufferings. It's not even an understatement, it is the truth. There is no more sufferings. And without preeti, that higher state of the love of God does not even come close. Preeti has to happen. So this preeti is not dependent on anything else, and also it is not wrong to say to the extent to which one has preeti, to that extent one is fortunate. So we have to think about it very carefully. To the extent to which one has preeti, to that extent one is fortunate. So then you would think that if that is the nature of preeti, and then how do you get it, and to what extent, meaning like, is it present as we are practicing devotion? And it is stated that yes, it is present in all of us to some degree. We may not be overflowing with love, but even in a good quality spiritual practitioner, preeti exists. But also, it never disappears even at the stage of attainment of perfection. So it is there and it stays, it never leaves, because that's the nature of this kind of intense love. Once the intense love is felt, you don't lose that intense love, because everything else pales. It's only common sense. If we are, mostly people try to use intelligence to understand God. And intelligence never makes you understand God. But it is interesting to think that it is, once you have that genuine love, you don't lose it. So I will give 2-3 quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam before we go to the story. Basically, my whole class is 2 stories today. So in Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto, the only reason for quoting these verses is just to show the explanation of Preeti is there in our scriptures. Srimad Bhagavatam also is speaking about it. There are Shruti Shastras which speaks about it. So Rishabhadev is speaking in 5th canto. He says, Preetirna yavan mai vasudeve na muchyate deha yogena tavat. That means, therefore, until one has love of Lord Vasudeva, who is none other than myself, because Rishabhadev is an incarnation of Krishna. He is telling Vasudeva Krishna, he is none other than myself. He is certainly not delivered from having to accept a material body again and again. So we all hear that by practice of devotional service, this cycle of repeated birth and death is going to come to an end. Rishabhadev is telling, unless one develops that Preeti, this cycle never stops. So everything else is like intermediary stage. It's not like everything is going to stop. So there is a Shruti called Mathara Shruti, and there it is stated, Bhaktir evainam nayati, Bhaktir evainam darshayati, Bhakti vasha purusho, Bhaktir eva bhuyasi. Devotional service brings one to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Devotional service reveals to one the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Devotional service brings the Supreme Personality of Godhead under its control. That was the topic. And devotional service is stronger than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is Shruti. Devotional service is stronger. What type of devotional service? With Preeti Purvakam. That is stronger than even Krishna. But we would think, are we putting down Krishna? We are not saying this. This is all in the Shastra. Similarly, in 11th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, one of the Kavi, Yogeshwara, he is explaining, Bhakti Pareshana Bhavo Viraktir Anyatra Chaisat Trika Eka Kala. Devotion, direct perception of the personality of Godhead, and detachment from material world, and these 3 things appear simultaneously in a person who has attained this state of love. Another interesting one, Krishna says in the 9th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, he says, I am completely subjugated by my devotee. I am like one who has no freedom at all, because devotee's love is so overpowering. So the verse is, Aham bhakta paradhino hya aswatantra iva dvicha. Aswatantra means there is no freedom at all. Krishna is saying, I have no freedom because I become subject to this love. Sadhubhir grastha hridayo bhaktir bhakta jana priyaha. Bhaktir bhakta jana priyaha. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead said to the Brahmana, I am completely under the control of my devotees. Indeed, I am not at all independent, because my devotees are completely devoid of material desires. I sit only within the cores of their hearts. What to speak of my devotee? Even those who are devotees of my devotees are very dear to me. So in essence, Krishna is saying, I am subservient to the love of my devotee. Now, do our acharyas repeat this? Every single acharya in our disciplic succession, they are repeating the same thing. For example, Narottam Das Thakur, who is a great saintly devotee, great poet, he says, without being the devotee of a devotee, one cannot be released from the material entanglement. What does Lord Chaitanya say? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Gopi Bhartrupada Kamalayor Dasa Dasanu Dasa. One who is the servant of the servant. I am the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. Every day we sing the Guru Ashtaga in the morning. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says, Yasya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasadu. So if one sincerely serves a devotee, in this case, if one sincerely serves one's spiritual master, Krishna certainly becomes favorable. Padma Purana, Krishna says, Mad Bhaktanam Vinodartham Karomi Vividha Kriya. Krishna has nothing to do. He has no job to do. But he engages himself in various type of pastimes and activities. Mad Bhaktanam Vinodartham, just to entertain his devotees. That's why he is doing all these pastimes. Otherwise, he doesn't have to do anything. He's God. But he likes to do this. He likes to do these services for the sake of his devotees. And that is today's stories coming up. So to please his devotees, the Lord forgets his Aishwarya feature. He is the Supreme Lord. He is full of all opulence. But he forgets his opulence and he wants to serve them in various ways. This is Krishna. So what is making him do this? It is his love for his devotee. So it is so, he feels so, the love of the devotee is so soothing, so pleasing to Krishna. And it is so enchanting to Krishna too. And so his opulent feature, Aishwarya feature just subsides and his Madhurya feature, sweetness, manifests. And it says it bursts and blooms like the light of full moon. Full moon, what happens in the full moon, when the moon becomes full, what happens to the ocean? The tides of the ocean reciprocate. And it rises and it swells in reciprocation to the moon. This is what happens. The ocean is swelling. And so this is the kind of love we are talking about. In reciprocation to the moon, the tides of the ocean are rising. Similarly, in reciprocation to Krishna, the Mother Yashoda, her love is rising and Krishna's love is rising along with that. And this is seen in the love that Krishna exhibits towards his father, Nanda Maharaj. You have seen pictures of Krishna carrying Nanda Maharaj's 2 shoes on his head. He's not thinking I am God. He is carrying the shoes of his father. And this is seen when Krishna is playing with his companions in the forest. So many pictures are there. And when Krishna is playing, he takes those friends on his shoulders. He's not thinking I am God. He's not thinking they are my friends. He's just simply, he becomes one among the children with whom he is playing. It is seen when Krishna became the driver of Arjuna. It is seen when Krishna took the offerings of the wives of Brahmanas. Brahmanas who were doing this big Vedic sacrifice and all those, they were not as devoted to Krishna as the wives. And Krishna went to the wives and begged for food. And it is seen in Krishna's love for the gopis, so that he is willing to roll himself at the feet of the gopis. Now from this only is the first story comes, because it's not an exaggeration to say that Krishna literally rolls on the ground at the feet of the gopis. This example is taken from real life of 12th century poet Jayadeva Goswami. And most of you who have been studying scriptures very well know Jayadeva Goswami wrote this epic poem called Gita Govinda. And so this is Gita Govinda is all about the love of Krishna for Srimati Radharani. And in that book, it is presented that Radharani's love is the greatest love. That's the way it is presented. And so he was writing this famous poem, Gita Govinda, and he was describing Krishna's effort to appease the wrath of Srimati Radharani. She exhibits a kind of anger called mana. He pretends to be very much upset with Krishna. And then Krishna will go down and beg for her to please do. He will do anything to make her feel happy. So he was writing about this section. And at that time, as he is composing the poem, one thought came to his mind. He said he wanted to write there, Dehi me pada pallavamudharam. Dehi me pada pallavamudharam. Kindly place your lotus feet on my body. That's what Krishna is saying. This is what Jayadeva Goswami wanted to write. However, as soon as this thought came to his mind, he felt that, oh, no, how can I make Krishna to be so subservient to Radharani? This doesn't feel right. And so he decided, I cannot write it. And so he put his pen down and he went to take bath. And all throughout the time when he was taking bath, he was thinking, how can I write this? How can I write this? So he finished his bath and he came back home. And when he came, he saw that part was filled exactly the same way he wanted it to be written. Dehi me pada pallavamudharam. It was clearly inscribed in his document. And so he immediately called his wife and asked her, how is it, who wrote this? And his wife said, who else but you? You went and you just came back and you wrote it, and now you went and you coming back and you are asking me who wrote it. It is, and then he started crying, tears started flowing from his eyes, and he said, Krishna himself came and wrote in his form. Now this story, it is not a story. Please understand this. There are many people, somehow or other, by the mercy of Guru, people take to the process of Krishna consciousness. But faith does not happen. There are a lot of people who lose faith, even if, all the philosophical understanding is there, but when it comes to faith, there is like a shakiness. Now, these are real. We don't need any example. Even the scriptures are speaking to us exactly what is what. But these are real life examples. But understand, this is 12th century poet. Then you would say, oh, that 12th century is like how many thousand of years ago, now there is nothing. No, Krishna is not seeing us. We don't have any love for Krishna, so nothing is going to happen. So that is not true. So anyway, Jayadeva Goswami was in tears, and this is a very well recorded event. So because it is from 12th century, I thought, no one should think Krishna does not reciprocate now. It's only 12th century back, or 5,000 years ago, he will become Arjuna's chariot driver. Even though he says, I carry what you lack in Bhagavad Gita, he's not going to carry what I lack. We should never doubt that. For a person who is a samshayatma, there is no progress in life. So these are just examples which really is recorded so that this is all true. So this particular, the next one, which anecdote, this is a anecdote relating to the deity Madan Mohan. Now you all know Madan Mohan deity, most of you know, is a deity worshipped by Sanatana Goswami, another one of the Goswamis, immediate disciple of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there's a long story about Madan Mohan, how Sanatana Goswami kept this Madan Mohan deity on a tree. And he used to beg for food to the Brajabasis. They give some dry chapati. Without even any salt, he will offer to Madan Mohan. There are a lot of information about how Sanatana Goswami worshipped Madan Mohan. But when the Muslim invaders came to India, these deities needed to be protected, and the king of Rajasthan took Madan Mohan to a place in Rajasthan called Karoli. That's a place. And so to this day, this deity, Madan Mohan deity, is worshipped in Karoli to this day. And so, just like Radha Govinda is worshipped in Jaipur, so Madan Mohan is worshipped in Karoli. And so, this story is relating to a pastime that took place in Karoli. So here, Krishna acted like a servant of a devotee who happened to be a Muslim, and his name was Taja Khan. Now, this Taja Khan, so now this Madan Mohan was taken to Karoli in the year 1730. So that means, this incident took place close to the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, close to our lifetime. So this person, Taja Khan, he was born in a devout Muslim family, and he was a very seriously practicing Muslim, and he served as a peon. Peon is the word we used to use, like a clerk in a court of Karoli. And so he, being a devout Muslim, he used to pray so many times a day. He used to go to the mosque every single day, and he used to read Quran every day. So all the Muslim people respected him so much because he was such an elderly, respectful person, and he's such a devout Muslim. They used to show him as an example. And the Hindus living there also, they respected him because he was a very nice, mature, dignified Muslim devotee. So those days, Hindus and Muslims and all lived together, pretty much caring for each other. So one day, the court authority, they send this Taja Khan to deliver a message to the Goswami who was in charge of the temple of Madan Mohan in Karoli. So he took this message from the court. He went to Karoli temple to deliver this. Now, being a Muslim, he is not allowed inside the temple. So he had to stand outside the gate of the temple. He was waiting for the gatekeeper to come so that he can hand over this message to him. So while he was standing outside the gate, the temple door inside the temple, it opened. And there was a window. So through that window, he could see this most beautiful form of Madan Mohan. As soon as he saw this beauty of Madan Mohan, he fell in love with Madan Mohan. He couldn't take his eyes off him. Same time, Madan Mohan was looking at Taja Khan. He fell in love with the Taja Khan too. So it was mutual. Immediately, there was this reciprocating love and Taja Khan could not take his eyes off the deity. He was outside the temple. So after looking, he stood there looking for a long time, and then the curtains closed or whatever. And so he went back out to the court. From the court, he returned to his home. But no matter where he went, he couldn't forget the deity. And the image of Madan Mohan was pursuing him in his heart. It got so deeply engraved in his heart that he couldn't forget the beauty of Madan Mohan. So In that process, he forgot to go to the mosque. He forgot to do his daily prayers. He forgot to read his Quran. He became like so much in love with Madan Mohan, nothing else but only Madan Mohan in his heart. So he became like a totally, he's not working, he's waiting for next day to reach the temple to take the darshan of Madan Mohan from the distance. That was his condition. So just as he was thinking of Madan Mohan also is waiting for him to come and see him. So this was going on between the two of them. Now, because in Muslim tradition, worshipping the image of the Lord is prohibited. So what happened? This devout Muslim gave up everything regarding reading Quran, offering prayers, going to mosque, stopped going to work, and became a devotee of Krishna. And Muslims called him infidel, and they said, we are going to excommunicate you from the temple. It's from their religion. And so he got excommunicated. And then, so there is a statement that being this kind of a Muslim, who was strictly brought up in that culture, how did he come to this condition in his life? It could be some samskara from his previous life. It could be. Or it could be that upon seeing this devotee, Madan Mohan himself took a fancy to him. So all you need to do is stand there, and if Radha Shyamasundar takes a fancy towards you, you can be the worst possible person. You can be a rogue. You can stand there, but if he takes a fancy towards you, nothing can stop you from progressing in your spiritual life. That's an example of that. And so that is why it is said that when a cup is full, even full of whatever liquid it is, even if it slightly shakes, it will overflow. That was the condition of this Taja Khan. So because his heart was always overflowing with love for Krishna, he started composing poetry. Meanwhile, by the way, not only the Muslims threw him out, the Goswami of the temple also told to his attendant, kick this guy out when he comes. He's a Muslim. He's not supposed to take darshan of Krishna. So the gatekeeper kicked him and he fell all the way down the stairs. This is what happened. And he was totally hurt. And now coming back to his overflowing heart, he was used to writing in Urdu language. You know that usually Muslims spoke Urdu language. So because most of his poems are written in Urdu language, and it got translated into English by some people. And there is this one poem, I just got it for you, in which he says, "Oh, how my heart yearns for thee, unthwarted by hunger, thirst, or sleep. O Madan Mohana, give darshan to me. Each moment without thy darshan appears like a yuga to me." Familiar? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Yuga idam nimishena," right? Similarly, give darshan to me. Each moment without thy darshan appears like a yuga to me. Thy sidelong glances thrill the heart. Cast thy glance once at me. Listen, O son of Nanda, with moon-like face. Taja, thy servant, stands begging at thy gate for thy darshan and thy grace. So he couldn't bear living without seeing Madan Mohan. So he would, every day when temple opened, he used to go there and stand outside, and then until temple closed. That's when the Goswami got irritated and kicked him out of there. So, because all he could think of is the smile of Madan Mohan. So this way, the bhakti process, it was so very sweet. But sometimes even the greatest devotee of Krishna meets with challenges. And so challenges came to meet him. That's when he got excommunicated by the Muslims and he got kicked outside the temple by the Goswamis. And so finally, when he became so heartbroken, 3 days he did not eat or drink or sleep, or he was suffering like anything. And Madan Mohan also, he was feeling the same feeling towards him. Madan Mohan also became very dull. Honestly, depending upon the nature of service that we offer, the deities can change their expressions. This is true. Even when I got my Gauranita deities, I got that instruction from my Guru Maharaj. You keep watching your deities as years go by, you will see their change in there. So he didn't go to church, he didn't go to the job or to his mosque or anywhere. He was simply crying without eating. So 3 days Madan Mohan became very dull, and Madan Mohan could not help not seeing Taja Khan. And so on third day, what happened was, according to the tradition of the temple, the pujari keeps a thali full of boga. After the last arti, when the deities are made to rest, the boga plate is kept near the deity. So in case Krishna feels hungry, he could eat. So this beautiful thali with silver sali full of variety boga was kept near the Madan Mohan. So Madan Mohan couldn't tolerate this separation anymore. So he came out of his deity form. He took the form of one of the attendants in the temple. He took this silver thali. In fact, the pujari had locked the temple room, pujari room from outside. But he took the thali and he went in the middle of the night. He went to see Taja Khan. He knocked at his door. And Taja Khan comes and opens the door, and here he sees a very effulgent temple attendant kind of a person carrying the silver thali in his hand. And he said, the Goswami of the temple had sent this thali for you, so please accept it. But he was shocked. Taja Khan was shocked. He thought, why the Goswami in the middle of the night send a silver thali full of boga to me, who he kicked out of the temple? Why should he send this? He couldn't believe it. And then he was very hesitant, and he was thinking so many things. He thought maybe the Muslims who got angry with me, maybe they want to trap me, or maybe the Hindus got angry with me. They want to, torture me. So they are creating a situation where they make me look like a thief. But then this attendant who came with the thali told to him, please take this because this is given by Goswami. Tomorrow morning you come to the temple. You are invited by the Goswami to come to the temple to take darshan for Shringara Arti. What you should do, you should bring this silver plate back with you when you are coming. So finally, Taja Khan reconfirmed for sure it is Goswami who is calling him. And then anyway, he was hungry, so he took the plate. He was struck by the beauty of this person who brought this plate. And then he honored the prasadam, he washed the plate and all that. Then he was keeping on thinking whole night what to do. At that same time, the Madan Mohan, he appeared in the dream of the Goswami. And in the dream, he told to the Goswami that you have treated my devotee in a very disrespectful way. And so tomorrow he is going to come. I have taken the boga you kept for me, I have taken it to his house and given it to him. Tomorrow he is going to come for Shringara Arti. He is going to bring that silver plate with him. Don't disrespect him. Make sure that you treat him properly. And so, having said that, Madan Mohan disappeared. And then in the early morning, the first pujari who went to wake up the deity, he couldn't find the silver thali, and he started panicking because he thought people are going to say he stole the thali. So he went running to the Goswami and told him, the thali is missing. And then the Goswami said, oh, I already know who the thief is. He admitted the theft. So you need not worry about that. And so then the Goswami went to see the king. And this is all recorded in history, by the by. The name of the king was Gopal Singh Ji. This person was ruling Karoli at that time. And so he went to this Gopal Singh Ji and informed the king, and the king was in tears, knowing how much this Madan Mohan he was concerned about the well-being of the devotee and how he had come to serve him as a attendant. And so then the king said, I am also coming to the temple tomorrow, let us see. So both the king and the Goswami, they were waiting for this Taja Khan to come. And so the king had so much respect for Taja Khan, seeing that how Krishna was subjugated by the love of this Muslim person. So who are we to say who is a devotee and who is not a devotee? Who are we to say only Hindus can worship Krishna? Huh? Anyone anywhere in the whole world can worship Krishna. There is no restriction. We should be inviting all kinds of people to worship Krishna. So Taja Khan came carrying the thali. That story is almost ending. And so he was worried that somebody is going to put the blame on him, that he is going to get beaten up. Instead of that, he is seeing the king and the Goswami standing waiting for him. He started shivering and he offered obeisances, and king came forward, he hugged him, and Goswami came forward and hugged him, and the king had tears in his eyes and he couldn't believe what was going on. And so the king said, the Madan Mohan has been so kind to you that he served you. So we are at fault and we should be your servant. And so seeing all of this, there was a large crowd of people. Everybody was making a lot of noise. Taja Khan ki jai or something. And the king and the Goswami said, we apologize to you. We thought you are a Muslim, but and you did not deserve to worship Krishna. But there is no one better than you who can worship Krishna, who is more deserving than you. So Taja Khan was bewildered, and he was, when all this attention was on him, he was a simple-natured man. He never wanted to pay any, he never wanted to create such a situation where so much attention on him. And he said, where is that attendant who brought me this thali? And the king will say, there, he's standing right there. He's the one who brought the thali for you. And he, who is the creator and controller of the universe, now has become your servant. So you are so blessed because your love made him the servant of your servant. So his heart was so much painful. Taja Khan couldn't bear it. Just the thought that Krishna came to personally serve him. Then now all the people in Karoli became aware of this whole story. And so they will be following him wherever he goes. And he lost his privacy. He lost his simple life. And he felt like, no, this is not going to work for me. So one night he just quietly got up and left the place. He just disappeared. Nobody knows where he went. It is written, this is all recorded in history. This is not a joke. This is very near our lifetime. Okay, so this is not 12th century. This is 500 years ago. So even to this day, the people in Karoli, they are singing the songs written by Taja Khan. So the songs still exist. It's evidence for all of you, in case if there is any doubts here. So I am concluding this with this one food for thought. Even for people who have given up love for Krishna or love for God, love is very important for ordinary people, ordinary material life. You have, let us say, you have no attraction for worshipping God, or some people don't even believe in God. But love is very important. Everybody wants love, some form of love or other in their life. So, why is it? Because it is the true nature of the soul. To love is the nature of the soul. So, no one who has a soul, otherwise we'll be dead. It will be a dead body. Every living person wants some form of love. And so every soul is seeking someone to love. And that search for love finds its final culmination when one falls in love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A man can fall in love with a woman can fall in love with a man. Did anybody think about falling in love with Krishna, who is more real than anything else that we have in our life? So, falling in love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which we started talking about Preeti and Preeti Sandarbha. So, falling in love with the Supreme Lord, that is the highest goal of life. Nothing less than that. Literally falling in love. I'm sure everybody had fallen in love with somebody, maybe their husband or wife or children or grandchildren. We all know what a little bit of a love is, but really falling in love with Krishna, that is the ultimate goal of life. So with that, I will just leave that thought with you. I took a little bit extra time. So I thank you all for your patience. If there is any comments or something, I can take just one or two. Where is the announcements? Any comments, any realizations? Anybody want to share anything? Louder. Yeah.
So this story is popular with Madan Mohan deity and
in Karoli.
okay.
Yeah. Not the one when he was worshipped by Sanatana Goswami in Vrindavan. Later they went in Karoli. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all. The announcement is very, very short, so you won't be delayed. Just wanted to. There are two. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. What? Storytelling? I guess we should go back to storytelling. Everybody has become a philosophical expert, and so now we are back to storytelling. Yeah. So thank you. One announcement is that we had done Damodarashtagam prayers usually. I think last week was Govardhan Puja, so we did it immediately following Govardhan Puja. But today it will be at 7:30. Meaning you can all go take your prasadam and come back and do the lighting of the lamps. Quick announcement, we have one sponsor for Sunday feast, Brajesh Patel, on behalf of Banki Bihari Properties, seeking devotees' blessings. Is Brajesh Patel here? I don't see anybody here. So thank you for sponsoring Sunday Feast. If anybody want to, for the coming weeks, you can contact Ramdas here, or he's not here. You can contact Ramdas Prabhu. Thank you. Our prasadam is waiting for you. I don't want to keep you too long. Prayer for the sponsor. There is no prayer which is better than chanting the Maha Mantra because it contains everything. Krishna Prema is there, invested in that prayer. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shyam Prabhu, I'll meet you over there. Okay. Thank you all. Prabhu, can you disconnect it? Where is the thing of it?